Hey guys, so our point today, or our topic today, is talking about point slope form. So what is point slope form? Well, point slope form looks like this, okay? And what the advantage of point slope form is it is very easy to create an equation when you have a point and a slope, okay? So it's really just about putting this stuff into your equation. So if your point is x1, y1, those are the values that you plug in. M, of course, is your slope. So then your y and your x stay general. Okay, so you're never going to plug anything in for y and x right now. Okay, so to create your equation, it's just simply plugging your point in and using your slope. So just to recap here, this gives us really 5 different types of equations for lines. So we've talked about slope-intercept form. Point slope form is our main idea for today. We know a vertical line is just x equals a number. A horizontal line is just y equals a number. And then we did talk about standard form last chapter, ax plus by equals c. So let's look at a few examples of point slope form. So this is asking us to write the point slope form of an equation that passes through the point -1, -6, and has a slope of -1/3. Okay. So our equation again was y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we're going to plug in our ordered pair for our x1 and y1, and of course we have our slope. So it's just as simple as going y minus my y value, which was -6, equals my slope, which is -1/3, times x minus my x value, which was -1. And now we can simplify just a little bit. So minusing a negative would be adding a positive. So y plus 6 equals -1/3 x plus 1. And if it's asking us to leave this in point slope form, this would be our equation. This would be our answer. Okay, but sometimes, and we'll just do one example here, we're going to want to rewrite your equation in a simpler form, such as y equals mx plus b. So if this one were asking us to write our equation in slope-intercept form, then we would want to go ahead and solve for y. So first thing we would do is distribute. So I'd get -1/3 x minus 1/3. Okay, and then to solve for solve for y, I'd subtract 6 from both sides, so I'd get y equals -1/3 x minus, and I could say 6 1/3 if we want to use a mixed number. Okay, so again, if it's asking for point slope form, we're just going to leave it like this. If it's asking to simplify to slope-intercept form, we would simplify and write our equation like that. Let's look at another example. All right, so find the equation of the line that passes through the points -2, 3 and -1, 0. All right, so if we're going to use point slope form, we need to have a point and we need to have a slope. Well, right now we don't have a slope, so we need to find that. So we can use our equation for slope, okay, and plug in our ordered pairs. So I could go 3 minus 1 over -2 minus -1. Well, this would end up being 2 over -1, which is -2. All right, so now I know my slope is -2. And now I can choose any one of my points. It does not matter which one, and I can create my equation. So I'm going to use this one just because I think the numbers are a little easier. So start creating my equation. Point slope form was y minus your y value of your ordered pair equals your slope times x minus your x value. And again, just to simplify a little bit here, minus a negative, we can just rewrite it as plus. All right, last example for today. So we want to find the equation of the line that passes through the points. F of 4 is -2, and f of 8 is 4. All right, so again, this would be our function notation for our points here. Okay, but we can go ahead and rewrite it as an ordered pair if that's going to make things easier. So for the first one here, this means we're plugging in 4 to our equation, into our function, and we're getting out -2. Excuse me. This one here says we are plugging in 8 and we are getting out 4. All right. Again, very similar to our last example. We could find our slope. So I take the difference in my y values over the difference in my x values, and I would get 6 over 4, or 3 halves. Okay, so 3 halves is my slope. I can use any one of my points that I want. Maybe I'll use this one. So it would go y minus 4 equals 3 halves times x minus 8.